What's up, everyone? This is James Patrick from Slam Academy. Today I'm going to show off a really cool trick I used in this track to make really dynamic hi-hats. And you can use this for making any sort of percussion sound that's going to stay interesting and unique throughout the course of your track. This track is called Subdub. It's by my artist alias Hungelman. Drums are up here on top. So as you can hear, the hi-hats stay really dynamic and interesting, even though it's just a single little pattern. It's quite easy to sequence this way. Let's take a listen to it. Actually, a look at the device window by hitting Shift-Tab will show us that I've just got a little drum rack here that I built with some samplers in it. Pretty simple. But if I click on the hi-hat pad, I can go over here and see I've got my hi-hat sound, but within the Zones tab here, it's exposing that I've actually got about 8 or 10 hi-hats in the one instrument. If I click on the velocity zones, you can see that I've distributed these ranges equally. In other words, when I play a soft note or sequence a low velocity hit, it'll choose this hi-hat and so on. Let's watch this and even have auto view or view follow engaged. It'll show the hi-hat that's currently playing as our sequence rolls. I'm going to drop it in at that groove section again. So that's already wicked fun as far as like creating an interesting hi-hat sound. And to kind of top off the program for the sampler, the next thing I'd do is I'd go down to the global tab, turn this velocity to volume all the way down. That'll ensure that you're getting an even volume across all these hits and it's not turning down the low velocity hits. In addition to that, I really like putting my voice count into 1. That will ensure that the hi-hats are gating each other out. That'll promote kind of realness sounding and keep it from getting too cluttered. So last but not least, I love to take the envelope and put it into trigger mode and take that sustain, pull it all the way down, and now my decay time kind of becomes the overall shape and size of the hi-hat. Like listen when I go tiny. Of course, that's a really great parameter now to automate to add more expressiveness to the track. So I like to call this velocity selecting hi-hats technique. I mean, it's just a simple little deal that really ultimately allows you just to get into the clip, make a simple pattern and select the notes here and use the velocity editor, which you can show by hitting this little disclosure triangle, as essentially your hi-hat selector. Let's go ahead and build one of these from scratch real quick. So the workflow is real simple. All I got to do here is just make a MIDI track and go to my sampler in my instruments folder. I can double click on it there, and then I head straight into my drums library. I don't want it to say sampler anymore. And on the top of my drums library, I've got my individual hits, and of course we're going to head into hi-hats. And you can see all these hi-hats. You can just start grabbing them and tossing them in there. But the thing is, you want to watch out for different types of hat articulations and hi-hat loops. You also want to watch out for devices and racks and such, because none of those are going to load. So a quick workflow that I really like is just to use the search field. I'll say hat closed wave, or pardon me, just say closed wave. And now you've got all of these niceties, and you're just inside of the drum hits folder, not all results. So that sorts you out. So now if you wanted, you could go totally mad, and I think at about 128 this technique won't work. So let's see how many we've got in this library. I'm going to let go, and it looks like I put 75 in there, which is hilarious, but let's just do it for fun. Now if I show my zones tab again, I can click on my velocity zones, and I've got these all filled up all the way across. All I need to do now is right click and distribute ranges equally, and that's going to give me a different velocity for each hi-hat approximately. It's going to splay them out across all 128 velocity steps. So thus allowing us to have lots of fun now by just hitting to middle C. That's going to be the root note of any default sampler, and showing our velocity editor. And now again, this is going to be like our hat select. So if I scroll down, make sure I've got these selected, and now I can just play around with making some shapes. Gonna end up with some neat stuff probably here, and if I hear a pattern that I like, I can duplicate it and extrapolate on it. Let's check it out. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this down, even though this would be great for some drum and bass hi-hats. Ooh. Of course, this also allows you the ability to use MIDI effects such as velocity to randomize your hi-hats. So I mean, if you were just feeling really lazy, just select all those and put them all at 128. Now I can just go ahead and navigate to whichever one was sounding goofy. Again, if I put this here, I can even watch which one was being weird. Let me turn that randomizer off. That's a weird one, huh? So let's go ahead and double check our settings by going to the master or the global section, and we'll duplicate what we had before in our other instrument. If we put this on one voice, put this into trigger mode, pull this all the way down. Well, there's that one sample. It's kind of a weird one, huh? We could tune it, we could pitch it, we could make it shorter. Let's make it shorter. Yeah, I like that guy, and let's even tune it up a little bit. I like that better. So now if we go to the global section, we can play around with this a little more, give ourselves some random. This is a really fun technique. So just really, just trying to open up some creative possibilities. And this has been James Patrick. I'm your host, and I'm an Ableton certified trainer since 2006. And I got a school called Slam Academy. It's real tight. You should check us out. Thanks a lot for coming through. The online classroom experience at Slam Academy is unparalleled. We love masterclass, YouTube tutorials, and everything in between. But Slam Academy is doing something entirely different. With partnerships in the latest interactive online technologies, the virtual classroom experience at Slam Academy is always immersive and engaging. In class, you will share full resolution line-level audio with your instructor in real time, so it feels like you're right there in the studio. There are no vague, poorly described ideas here. Only specialized lessons designed by Ableton certified trainers where you work directly with experts as they help you sculpt your tracks and create your own sound.
Slam Academy is an Ableton certified training center offering courses in sound design, mixing and mastering, and more. www.slamacademy.com